Hi friends, in this today's lecture I am going to discuss with you meaning and types of budgets. What are the types of budget and what is called the government budget we are going to discuss. A government budget is an annual financial statement which outlines the estimated government expenditure and expected government receipts. So here one word is important: expected government expenditure or estimated government expenditure and expected government receipts or revenue for the forthcoming fiscal year, means the coming years, for the coming year. So government budget is nothing but the estimated, or uh, uh, it is a expected government revenue and expenditure for the coming fiscal year, forthcoming fiscal year. Depending on the feasibility of these estimates, budget are of three types. Number one, balanced budget, surplus budget, and deficit budget. And each one of them we are going to discuss in details. Before that, what is the government budget in India? Just have a look. The union budget is the budget prepared by the central government in India, and state government budget is prepared by the state government in India. So in India, federal system is there. So state have their own budget and central government have their own budget. So the union budget is the budget prepared by the central bank for the country as a whole. The Union Budget of India, also referred to as the annual financial statement in the Article 112 of the Constitution of India. So there is not a word in Constitution of India, budget. So in Constitution, the word used under the Article 112, that is annual financial statement, not a budget. So it is annual financial statement according to constitution, and it is in general language we called it budget. uh, and it is also called annual financial statement, is also called annual budget of the Republic of India. The government present it on the first day of February, so that it could be materialized before the beginning of the new financial year in April. It is presented in the starting of February, because the 1 month or 2 months government get the times for the discussion in the parliament and to take the approval of the parliament for that budget, and to make the some modifications according to the discussions in the parliament. And our in India, fiscal year starts from 1st April to 31st March. So before 1st April, government takes all the formalities, all the approvals for that budgets. That's why it is presented in the starting of February, uh, so that it can get discussed in the parliament. And the budget is presented by finance minister in the parliament on behalf of the government of India. In the formal way, or in some kind of formal definition, we can define budget as, according to Article 112 of the Indian Constitution, the union budget of a year, also referred to as the annual financial statement, is a statement of the estimated receipts, means revenues, and expenditure of the government for that particular year. So annual financial statement or budget is nothing but estimated revenue of the government, estimated earnings of the government for coming year, and the estimated expenditure of the government for that particular year. Why our fiscal year is from 1st April to 31st March? Because uh, it is the tradition from the British government, and the logic behind this is till the March 31st March or 1st April, when we start our fiscal year, all the harvesting season get over. And India, basically it was the agrarian economy, and it is mostly depend on the agricultural sector uh, traditionally, and now also the agricultural sector have important role to play in the Indian economy. And all the harvesting season get over till the most of the harvesting season till 1st April. So that's why our fiscal year from 1st April to 31st March. The debate is going on for changing the fiscal year, that is from 1st January to 31st December, but it is not came into practice. So Union budget keeps the account of the government finances for the fiscal year that runs from 1st April to 31st March. Union budget is classified into revenue budget and capital budget. So revenue, there are two types of account in the budget. First is revenue budget and second is capital budget. Revenue budget is the day-to-day expenses of government, the expenses for running the government. For example, salaries of the government employees, the transportation, running parliament, stationery, and law and order, maintaining law and order, etc. And capital budget depicts the capital budget is the expenditure which create the asset in the economy. Means it is the pure investment which will further increases production in the economy. Now, what is state budget? In countries like India, there are a quasi-federal system, that is, state have their own budget and central government have their own budget. So every state prepares its own budget. It is called state budget. And here I forgot one thing. Revenue budget is the estimated revenue and revenue and expenditure on the revenue account of the budget. And capital budget is the uh, estimated revenue and expenditure on the capital account. There are two main accounts in the budget, that is capital account and revenue account. So capital account is very important because the expenditure on the capital account depicts the pure investment of government for creating new assets in the economy. For example, creating dams, creating power projects. So it is the capital expenditure, and it increases further production in the economy. Now, what are the types of budgets? First is balanced budget. Balanced budget is presented by the government when receipts and expenditure. Balanced budget is the balance between estimated expenditure and revenue, and it is generally presented in a normal year when there is no depression or when there is no inflation. So it is called balanced budget. A government budget is said to be a balanced budget if the estimated government expenditure is equal to expected government receipts in a particular financial year. And it is advocated by many classical economists. This type of budget is based on the principle of living within means. Means living as per our resources. And why many classical economists like Adam Smith and the group of Adam Smith advocated this type of budget? Because they have their ideology that the government should not intervene too much in the economy. So government should keep balanced budget always. They believe the government's expenditure should not exceed their revenue. Though an ideal approach to achieve a balanced economy and maintain fiscal discipline, a balanced budget does not ensure financial stability at times of economic depression or deflation. So, balanced budget always will not work because in the time of depression, suppose now take the example of pandemic situation which is going on due to COVID-19. So, in this type of period, government should keep deficit budget where government should uh, spend more than revenue. So government should spend more than whatever government have the revenue. So it is called deficit budget. And theoretically it is easy to balance the estimated expenditure and anticipated revenue, but when it comes to practical implementation, such balance is hard to achieve. What are the merits and demerits of a balanced budget? Merits of balanced budgets are it ensures economic stability if implemented successfully, and it ensures that the government refrain from imprudent expenditure, means uh, over expenditure of government. So it is it keeps the control on government expenditure, which is unnecessary government expenditure, we can say. What are the demerit of balanced budget? Unviable at time of recession and does not offer any solution to problems such as unemployment. So when depression or economy goes in the slowdown, or like now economy, the growth rate becomes negative and unemployment increases, at that time balanced budget do not work. Inapplicable in less developed countries as it limits the scope of economic growth. So it is inapplicable in the less developed countries as it limits the scope of economic growth. It restricts the government from spending on public welfare also. Government, ideally, John Maynard Keynes, one of the famous economists, says that the budget should be deficit budget if in the developing countries, to boost the economic growth and to increase the level of employment, and to government should spend on public welfares. So always balanced budget is not desirable. Next is surplus budget. A government budget is said to be a surplus budget if the expected government revenues exceed the estimated government expenditure in a particular financial year. When government revenue is more than government expenditure, then it is called surplus budget. And sometimes this budget is preferred because if inflation is going on and the too much spending happens in the economy by private individuals or entities, so demand increases and inflationary situation occurs in the economy. At that time surplus budget is preferred by the government. Means government spends less than whatever the revenue it has. This means that the government's earnings from the taxes levied are greater than the amount the government spends on public welfare. A surplus budget denotes or it indicates the financial affluence of a country. Such a budget can be implemented at a time of inflation to reduce aggregate demand. When inflation increases, why inflation increases? Because there is too much demand is there and prices increases. At that time, to control the money supply or spending in the economy, because if spending is more in the economy, aggregate demand, total demand in the economy increases and it leads to inflation. We called it mahagai. So inflation increases and inflation in this situation government keeps the surplus budget. Next type is deficit budget. A government budget is said to be a deficit budget if the estimated government expenditure exceeds the expected government revenue in a particular financial year. So this type of budget is best suited for developing economies such as India, especially helpful at the times of recession. A deficit budget helps generating additional demand and it boosts the rate of economic growth. Here, the government incurs the excessive expenditure to improve the employment rate. Like this time, government in India, if you observe that the current budget 2021-22, government of India keeps the uh, deficit budget. It has estimated spending more than estimated earnings or revenue receipts because the time is going on in a economy running in the slowdown, and due to this pandemic situation economic growth seriously hampered. So to increase the employment level and growth rate of the economy, government of India presented deficit budget. And deficit budget helps in the time of recession. Deficit budget helps generate additional demand and the boost the rate of economic growth, and it also increases the employment level. This result in an increase in demand for goods and services because of deficit budget, because of government spends more, and which helps in reviving the economy. The government covers this amount through public borrowings, by issuing government bonds, or by withdrawing from its accumulated reserve surplus, etc. Or government borrows from foreign entities, individual or institutions, or from domestically government borrows more and spend more than its revenue, and it is called deficit budget. uh, what are the merits and demerits of deficit budgets? A government budget is said to be a deficit budget if the estimated government expenditure exceeds the expected government revenue in a particular financial year. What are the merits of a deficit budget? It helps in addressing public concerns such as unemployment at the time of economic recession, like the time period now which is going on. It enables the government to spend on public welfare. What are the demerits of a deficit budget? It can encourage imprudent expenditure by the government, means unnecessary expenditure can encouraged by the uh, for government. It increases burden on the government by accumulating debts, and borrowing is not always good, so it can lead to serious debt accumulation uh, by the government, and it creates the problem in the future. We can also discuss the types of budget, that is revenue budget and uh, capital budget. So here I have taken revenue expenditure, that is the revenue expenditure is always classified plan expenditure, non-plan expenditure. Plan expenditure means particularly spent on schemes, and non-plan expenditures are day-to-day expenditures of government, and revenue expenditure is always day-to-day expenditures, and it is the cost of running of government. Here is revenue budget and capital budget I have taken. Revenue budget includes revenue receipts and revenue expenditure, and capital budget includes capital receipts and capital expenditure. So revenue receipts, it neither creates liability for the government nor cause any reduction in asset of the government, are called revenue receipts. And revenue expenditure neither create any asset or nor cause any reduction of liability. So it is a revenue budget. It's in a simple word depicts the government's day-to-day expenditures. And here in case of capital expenditure, capital expenditure always create the asset in the economy, and it creates investment in the economy so that the future production can be increased, and it causes a reduction in the liabilities of the government in the future. Example of revenue receipts are income tax, gift tax, and revenue expenditure are old age pension, salaries, scholarship, etc. Defense, health, defense, health expenditure, etc. Here we can take the example that capital expenditure creating some dams, electricity power projects, some irrigation projects, etc. So these creates the asset in the economy. Next are performance budget and zero based budget. What is performance budget? Which reflect both the input of resources and the output of services for each unit of an organization. Means here whatever the spent by the government, how much output is getting. So it is the goal here is to identify and score relative performance based on goal attainment for specified outcomes. So this type of budget is commonly used by the government bodies and agencies to show the link between taxpayer funds and the outcome of services provided by federal government, state or local government. In a nutshell, we can say that the performance budget is what is the amount spent on a particular scheme or for particular cause, and what are the outcomes getting. So that is called performance, and performance budget is it is how the outcomes are getting, what is the performance is getting for that particular amount. What is zero based budget? Zero based budgeting is a method of budgeting in which all expenses must be justified for each new period. Means here what happens generally, if the government spends 2 lakh crores for defense in the earlier budget, then government can revise that amount, and it makes some extra amount, extra provision for that amount. So it is called revised estimates budgets. But in case of zero based budgeting, there is no such revision of amount. The freshly new amount which is projected for that particular scheme. The process of zero based budgeting starts from a zero base, and every function within an organization is analyzed for its need and cost. So budget are then built around what is needed for the upcoming period, regardless of whether is budget is higher or lower than the previous one. So there is not any comparison or not any revised estimate with the last budget. So suppose 1 lakh crore rupees given for construction of roads, so that amount is not considered, that is not considered in the new budget. So fresh amount which is regardless of in the previous budget, it's considered here and mentioned here, that is called zero based budgeting. So there is no base for that amount in previous budget, so it is called zero based budget. Next is gender budget. So it is particularly prepared for equality of men and women. So it is gender budget means preparing budgets or analyzing them from a gender perspective. It is also referred to as gender sensitive budgeting. This practice does not entail dividing budget for women. It aims at dealing with budgetary gender inequality issues, including gender hierarchies and the discrepancies between women's and men's salaries, etc. So, at its core, gender budgeting is a feminist policy, sometimes called it, with a primary goal of reorienting the allocation of public resources, advocating for an advanced decision making role for women in important issues, and securing equity in the distribution of resources between men and women. So, gender budgeting allows government to promote equality through fiscal policies. Means government through budget should promote the equality between men and women. So, it is called fiscal policy. Budget is always called fiscal policy. What is fiscal policy? Fiscal policy is the government's revenue, expenditure, government debt, public administration, etc. called fiscal policy. So government gender budgeting allows government to promote equality through fiscal policies by taking analysis of budget differing impact on the sexes, as well as setting goal or targets for equality and allocating fund to support these those goals. So there should be equality between male and female. Government should promote. So this is the basic idea of gender budget. This practice does not always target international discrimination, but rather forces an awareness of the effects of financial schemes on all genders. So it is not the discriminating policy between male and female, but it is the it creates the awareness of the effect of government expenditure on the gender wise, that is male and female. Next is interim budget. What is interim budget? Interim budget is presented during the transition period when a new government is due to take over, but the ruling government needs parliament's approval to go ahead to take out money from the consolidated fund of India. So there are three funds in India. So consolidated government have to take the approval of parliament to take the money from consolidated fund of India. And if government at the last year of the tenure, for example, suppose government have 5 years tenure, and government presenting budget for the uh, last year, that is April, first of on the 1st of February, and elections held in the month of May. So after the election, no one knows which government will come into power. So that is called interim budget. It is a temporary for short time budget to just take the money out of consolidated fund and take the approval of the parliament for the expenditure from the consolidated fund of India. Interim budget means in a dictionary meaning, it is a temporary something that is done for a stipulated period of time. An interim budget is presented during the transition period of power between one government to another government. It is, in a nutshell, we can say it is a budget at the time of elections. When elections will the results of elections have to come, yet to come, and no one knows who will come into the power, maybe another government. So the new government have their own budget. So that's why interim budget is presented, because the budget which is presented by old government is not considered by the new government, and when new government comes, it present new budget, fresh budget, because they have their own powers. Vote on account and interim budget. In the budgetary context, vote on account and interim budget are two different terms. The vote on account is just the estimate of expenses the government requires before the general election period. The vote on account only deals with the government expenditure. On the contrary, an interim budget gives full details of the government's account, including both receipts and expenditure. So, vote on account is just the approval of expenditure for governments for temporary period, because in the time of election, general election period, government have to do some expenses, but the approval of parliament is needed. So vote on account is the one type to take the approval for the estimated expenses. On the other hand, an interim budget gives full details of the government's account, including both receipts and expenditure of the government. And next is supplementary budget. This budget forecasts the budget of the coming year with regard to revenue and expenditure. Supplementary budget means in addition to the main budget, if there is some extra fund needed, so supplementary budget is presented. Next is emergency budget. Emergency budget is one which is prepared to meet emergency situations such as war, natural calamities, heavy depression or slowdown in the economy. So government have used this emergency budget in the pandemic situation, in the coronavirus situation. We have seen many times finance minister announce so many packages for the economy to boost the economy. So we can say that emergency budget is this. And when natural calamity happens, the depressions happen in the economy, or war situation is there, or a slowdown in the economy, in such period government presents emergency budget. Next is green budgeting, means using the tool of budgetary policy making to help achieve environmental and climate goals. So this includes evaluating environmental impacts on budgetary and fiscal policies and assessing their coherence towards the delivery of national and international commitments. So green budgeting, it is just the tool of budgetary policy to achieve some or help to achieve some environmental and climate goals, to preserve climates, to achieve the conservation of environmental goals, etc. So friends, that is from my side in this today's lecture. Thanks for watching. If you have any more questions, more information if you need, then you can call, message, or contact to me. If you have any query, you can ask to me. Write your name in the comment box. See you in the next lecture. Bye bye.